Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Munban Bhattacharya, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasizes his government's vision to empower rural India by transforming villages into vibrant centers of growth and opportunity, reiterates government's priority of providing dignified life to people of villages. US President-elect Donald Trump to be sentenced over hush money case 10 days before January 20 inauguration, but judge signals no jail time. In South Korea, rival camps protest for and against impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. Amid political chaos, US Secretary of State Blinken heads to South Korea to reaffirm ironclad alliance. Rishabh Pant's remarkable half-century leaves Sydney Test finally poised. India takes lead of 145 runs against Australia after 15 wickets fell on day 2. The spirit of rural India has always been the backbone of the nation, and today it took centre stage as Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Gramin Bharat Mahotsav 2025 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The Mahotsav, which celebrates rural entrepreneurship and cultural heritage, will run until the 9th of January and promises to pave the way for a self-reliant and resilient rural economy. Our correspondent, Debyendu Mondal, brings you the key highlights from this event.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Gramin Bharat Mahotsav 2025 with great fervour at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The 6-day event, running from 4th to 9th January, aims to build a self-reliant rural India under the theme Building a Resilient Rural India for a Viksit Bharat 2047. In his address, Prime Minister Modi emphasized the importance of fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in rural areas.
पिछले 10 वर्षों में एमएसएमई को भी बढ़ावा देने वाली कई नीतियां लागू की गई हैं। उन्हें क्रेडिट लिंक गारंटी स्कीम का लाभ दिया गया है। इसका फायदा 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा ग्रामीण एमएसएमईज को भी मिला है। आज गांव के युवाओं को मुद्रा योजना, स्टार्टअप इंडिया, स्टैंड अप इंडिया जैसी योजनाओं से ज्यादा मदद मिल रही है।
The Mahotsav will facilitate a platform for discussions, workshops and masterclasses aimed at strengthening rural infrastructure and encouraging innovation. It aims to bring together government officials, rural entrepreneurs, artisans and thought leaders to create a roadmap for rural transformation. A significant focus is also on financial inclusion and empowering rural women through entrepreneurship.
ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था की मजबूती के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है कि गांव में हर वर्ग को ध्यान में रखते हुए आर्थिक नीतियां बने। मुझे खुशी है कि पिछले 10 साल में हमारी सरकार ने गांव के हर वर्ग के लिए विशेष नीतियां बनाई हैं, निर्णय लिए हैं। 2-3 दिन पहले ही कैबिनेट ने पीएम फसल बीमा योजना को 1 वर्ष अधिक तक जारी रखने की मंजूरी दे दी।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also interacted with the artisans and craftsmen from rural India at the event, where each of them showcased their art with much enthusiasm to the PM. There are over 50 GI tag products being showcased at the event, promoting India's rich cultural heritage. With the motto Gaon Badhe to Desh Badhe, meaning when the village prospers, the nation prospers, the Gramin Bharat Mahotsav 2025 is a celebration of rural India's contribution to the nation's progress, aiming to empower millions across its villages. The Bindu Mondal's report for DD India.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who was also present at the event, visited the stalls and interacted with artisans at Gramin Bharat Mahotsav 2025 that celebrates rural India's transformation. Taking to social media site X, she shared some glimpses of her interaction and called the festival a celebration of rural India's entrepreneurial spirit and cultural heritage. Minister of State for Finance M. Nagaraju accompanied the Finance Minister. Rural Development Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that his ministry is determined to make the villages poverty-free this year. Chauhan said this during a review meeting on various ministry schemes with the Rural Development Minister of all states and union territories in New Delhi on Friday. The minister highlighted the role of villages in nation building, which will make India an ideal nation for the world. The union minister said that schemes of Rural Development Ministry are a hope for the common people and a means to fulfill their dreams. He said these schemes reflect the commitment of the central government towards the development of villages.
इस वर्ष को हम गरीबी मुक्त गांव, पॉवर्टी फ्री विलेज इसका संकल्प ले सकते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी की इच्छा है और मैं भी अंतरात्मा से ये चाहता हूं कि गांव गरीबी मुक्त हो। और गरीबी मुक्त गांव का मतलब है गांव का हर भाई बहन किसी न किसी आजीविका मूलक काम से, रोजगार से जुड़ा हो। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के लिए फिर से सर्वे होना है। सर्वे के निर्देश यहां से चले गए, आपने काम भी प्रारंभ किया होगा, लेकिन क्या हम एजुकेट भी कर सकते हैं जिससे कोई पात्र गरीब वंचित ना रहे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation for development projects worth over $147 million in Delhi on Sunday. He will also ride the Namo Bharat train from Sahibabad RRTS station to New Ashok Nagar. Among the key projects, he will inaugurate the 13 kilometers Delhi-Ghaziabad Meerut Namo Bharat corridor worth approximately $55.42 million, which will enhance regional connectivity between Delhi and Meerut. Prime Minister will also inaugurate a 2.8 kilometers stretch of Delhi Metro Phase 4 between Janakpuri and Krishna Park, valued at $14.46 million. Additionally, the Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for the 26.5 kilometers Rithala Kundli section of Delhi Metro Phase 4 worth $74.98 million, improving connectivity in Delhi and Haryana. Furthermore, he will lay the foundation for a new state-of-the-art building for the Central Ayurveda Research Institute in Rohini, costing $2.23 million. Indian entrepreneur Vishal Sikka met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday. PM Modi termed the meeting as an insightful interaction and said that India is committed to taking the lead in artificial intelligence with a focus on innovation and creating opportunities for the youth. Both had detailed and wide-ranging discussions on AI and its impact on India and several imperatives for the time ahead. US President-elect Donald Trump dismisses the hush money case as a rigged charade as a judge ruled on his sentencing in the hush money case. This decision adds another chapter to the ongoing legal battles before he assumes office. Details in our next report.
A U.S. judge has ruled that U.S. President-elect Donald Trump will be sentenced on January 10th in the criminal case involving hush money paid to adult actress Stormy Daniels. Acting Justice Juan Merchan of the New York State Supreme Court noted that he is not inclined to impose a jail sentence, instead suggesting unconditional discharge, meaning no custody, monetary fine, or probation, as the most viable solution. The ruling means Trump will be required to appear at a court hearing just 10 days before his January 20th inauguration, an unprecedented scenario in US history. Before Trump, no US president, former or sitting, had been charged with or convicted of a crime. Trump may appear at his sentencing either in person or virtually. In a statement, Trump spokesperson Stephen Cheong said there should be no sentencing in the case. Justice Merchan denied Trump's motion to dismiss the case, stating that the charges of falsifying business records do not threaten presidential authority. Prosecutors suggested alternatives such as delaying the sentencing until after Trump's presidency or ensuring a non-custodial sentence. The charges stem from a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, allegedly to silence her before the 2016 election. Trump has pleaded not guilty, calling the case a political attack. Meanwhile, his other legal battles, including a Georgia election case, remain ongoing. Diptanshu Kashyap's report for DD India.
Staying with the updates from the U.S., Republican Mike Johnson was returned as Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, marking the start of complete Republican control in Washington. President-elect Donald Trump previously endorsed Johnson for the role of House Speaker, saying a win for Mike today will be a big win for the Republican Party. The Speaker wields key influence in Washington by presiding over House business and is second in line to the presidency after the Vice President. Voting in a new Speaker is the first requirement of the new session of the Congress, and without that leader in place, the chamber cannot move on to any other function. New details have emerged about the Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. Authorities have ruled out any animosity towards President-elect Donald Trump and revealed insights into the suspect's mental state. Yash Chaturvedi brings us the latest reports.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation confirmed that Matthew Livelsberger, the 37-year-old suspect behind the New Year's Day Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas, likely suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder.
He does offer additional information that is varying on the spectrum in terms of political grievances, issues about conflicts elsewhere, not here, domestic issues, societal issues, a variety of other things, including personal challenges as well.
The FBI also said that the suspect had no animosity towards President-elect Donald Trump.
We have interviewed family members, friends, the subject's associates, and military members that he served with around the globe. Through these interviews, we've found that the subject held no animosity towards the president-elect.
The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department shared findings from Livelsberger's Notes app, where he documented his activities leading up to the incident. A highly decorated army soldier, Matthew Livelsberger has left many letter notes saying it was a stunt to serve as a wake-up call for the country's ills. He also wrote that he needed to cleanse his mind of the lives lost of the people he knew and the burden of the lives he took.
But we're able to take this phone and be able to extract the data using a variety of different tools. And in that, we've identified a variety of information. But one thing in particular is there was an application in there that the suspect used to take notes. In that application, one of the notes is titled Surveillance Log by the Suspect. It appears to be more of a journal of activity. It dates for about 10 days leading up to the incident, from December 21st to December 31st of this past year.
Authorities also emphasized that the Cybertruck explosion appeared unrelated to the deadly truck attack in New Orleans. FBI officials reiterated there was no definitive link between the two events. Investigators are continuing to piece together the timeline and motive behind the Cybertruck explosion, as questions remain about Livelsberger's mental health and state of mind. Bureau Report, DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live, Poland takes over EU presidency with focus on security. International World Braille Day being observed today. The delicate balance between human and animal coexistence has become a growing problem. Finding sustainable ways to coexisting together and thriving in a rapidly changing environment.
Tell them not to panic. Instead, they should just stand completely still and let the lions walk past peacefully. This is how we show respect to the animal and in turn gain its trust.
After the plantation of lemon trees, the elephants stopped entering the fields. They passed by the field boundaries without entering.
Poaching gangs and trafficking gangs that go after these elephants and capture them, things like that. And that's something that we are all up against.
We should try to modify the human behavior through education and awareness.
Welcome back, you're watching DD India Live. Moldova faces energy security crisis, Prime Minister Doran Rekin said on Friday after its separatist Transnistria region cut off from Russian gas descended into factory closures, restricted heating and rolling blackouts. The crisis peaked after Russian gas flows via Ukraine were halted on New Year's Day, following Kyiv's refusal to extend a transit deal with Moscow amid the ongoing conflict. Russia blames Kyiv for refusing to renew the gas transit deal. Prime Minister Doran assured Moldova's energy security with imports from Romania, but lamented the enclave's refusal of aid, including generators and biomass systems. He said the Moldovan government remained committed to helping the enclave. Transnistrian leaders, hopeful for Russian gas, declined offers to buy from Europe, citing higher costs. Poland has taken over the presidency of the Council of European Union, marking the beginning of its 6-month term. This development comes at a challenging time for the EU, which is facing a multitude of global crises, including a sluggish economy, rising tensions with the US, China and Russia, and internal political disunity. The Polish presidency has outlined its priorities, including strengthening the EU's security and defense capabilities, promoting economic growth and competitiveness, and enhancing the EU's role in global affairs. Poland's leadership will be crucial in addressing the EU's pressing challenges and promoting unity among member states. In a show of support, the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, joined Poland's leadership to stress the importance of continued support for Ukraine, which is grappling with conflict.
The motto of the Polish presidency is Security Europe. Our union was born as a project of peace after World War II, and we need to strengthen once again our security to ensure peace in Europe. Therefore, Ukraine must remain our top priority. This year, we must continue to stand with Ukraine as much as necessary for as long as it takes to win a comprehensive, just and lasting peace.
Staying with South Korea, investigators on Saturday expect to compile the complete transcript from the cockpit voice recorder recovered from the wreckage of the Jeju Air Boeing 737-800 that crashed on Sunday. The ministry said investigators have recovered one of the plane's 2 engines and plan to retrieve the other on Saturday. They also aim to study the plane's tail and landing gear at the crash scene. The ministry, which is conducting checks on all of the Boeing 737-800 planes operated by Korean Airlines, plans to require immediate corrective measures if problems are found. South Koreans for and against impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol rallied on adjacent streets in the Hanam-dong neighborhood of Seoul on Saturday, just streets away from his official presidential residence. Anti-Yoon protesters took over the 8-lane road in the afternoon, causing chaotic traffic on both directions. South Korean investigators again asked the country's acting president on Saturday to order the Presidential Security Service to comply with an arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. The security service, along with military troops, on Friday prevented prosecutors from arresting Yoon Suk-yeol in a 6-hour standoff inside Yoon's compound. The investigators secured the warrant to arrest Yoon over his brief declaration of martial law last month. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will begin his visit to South Korea, Japan and France from today amid a political crisis in Seoul, where Secretary Blinken will meet with senior government officials to reaffirm the ironclad U.S.-South Korea alliance and discuss ways the two nations can build on critical cooperation on challenges around the world based on their shared values. The Secretary will also discuss how both sides can strengthen key efforts to promote a free, open and prosperous Indo-Pacific, as well as trilateral efforts with Japan. South Korea's presidential guards and military troops on Friday prevented authorities from arresting impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol under criminal investigation for insurrection over his December martial law bid. It was the first attempt by authorities to arrest him, during which they faced a 6-hour standoff with the presidential guards. Yoon supporters who gathered near the residence vowed to block any attempt to arrest him. In Japan, Secretary Blinken will meet with senior Japanese government officials to review the tremendous progress the U.S.-Japan alliance has made over the past few years. Secretary Blinken will reaffirm the importance of the alliance in addressing a range of bilateral, regional and global issues and continue to build on the momentum of U.S.-Japan-South Korea trilateral cooperation. In France, Secretary Blinken will meet with senior French officials as part of a vital partnership to address challenges in Europe, West Asia and beyond. Sweden began its annual wolf hunt this week, allowing nearly 10% of the endangered species population to be killed as environmentalists raise concern about the controversial policy. Since 2010, Sweden has allowed wolves to be hunted on a licensed quota basis. Environmentalists say this goes against European Union law and have filed complaints with the EU Commission, which has previously said it is assessing Sweden's compliance. In November 2018, the General Assembly decided to proclaim 4th January as World Braille Day, recognizing that the full realization of human rights and fundamental freedoms relies on an inclusive written promotion. Sports news now. Rishabh Pant slammed the second fastest Indian Test half-century on Saturday to give India a 145-run lead on day 2 of the 5th Test against Australia. At stumps, India were 101 for 6 with Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar on field. Rishabh Pant reached 50 after just 29 deliveries before being dismissed for 61 by Pat Cummins. Earlier, India bowled out Australia for 181 in the first innings in skipper Bumrah's absence. Prasidh Krishna and Mohammad Siraj picked 3 wickets each, while Nitish Kumar Reddy claimed 2. Australia lead the series 2-1 and India needs to win in Sydney to retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Fast bowler Prasidh Krishna has confirmed that India's stand-in captain Jasprit Bumrah suffered a back spasm at the end of day 2. Speaking in a press conference, Prasidh said that more updates will follow once medical reports arrive from the hospital. Bumrah's injury scare adds an extra layer of challenge for the visitors who look to win the final test match of the series. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but do share your thoughts with us on News of the Day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. This is Munman Bhattacharya from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.